to share with you part of my testimony and why the hymn that you probably are very familiar with, "I Come to the Garden Alone," is my favorite hymn. I remember when I was a young girl, my grandfather, T.R. Cates, leading our worship service in music at the Thalia Church of Christ. Thalia is a small town in West Texas, and singing that hymn. I love to hear him sing. He had a very deep voice. He sang that song to me as a child, and little did I know that "I Come to the Garden Alone" would become part of my spiritual journey. As a little girl, I was raised in a non-practicing Christian home. Although my mother and dad were Christians, we weren't active in any kind of church. So my grandparents were very instrumental in my spiritual journey. They taught me about Jesus, they taught me about the Bible, they taught me about what salvation meant and the blood of Jesus Christ. So I was very interested in that, and I loved to go to church with them, and I loved to hear my grandfather sing, and that song always meant a lot to me. But it would be many years before that really had a very precious meaning to me. So throughout the years, I went to church with my grandparents, but not at home. So it wasn't something that was deep-seated in me. But I was always very curious about that, and the Holy Spirit was moving in me from a very young age. I began to go to church with a friend of mine as a young girl in elementary school and learned a lot about Jesus. And one day, at the age of 11, alone in my bedroom, I asked Jesus Christ to come into my heart. And he did. Ever faithful did he do that. And so I didn't share that with my parents at the time. And so the words, "I come to the garden alone," became very special to me. I continued on my faith, going to church intermittently throughout my youth. And even as I became older and I got married, I had that relationship, that alone relationship with Jesus. It wasn't something that I practiced a lot. I think that's a very common thing with some people as they begin their journey, especially someone who doesn't have that cultivated relationship as they're growing up. So I got married, began to grow my own faith, became a little closer to God, but I didn't draw near to him like I should have. Although faithful as he is, he never left my side. Through a tragic loss of a child when I was 24 years old, I did begin to grow closer to God. He grew closer to me and began to give me a peace through a difficult situation that without God in my life, I would have never gotten through. Through many weeks at home after the birth of this child and the death of this child, again, "I Come to the Garden Alone" became so special to me. And I learned what it was like to be alone with God through a very difficult time. And he refilled me with joy and gave me a peace that I had never known. Shortly thereafter, I gave birth to my daughter, and joy again was mine, and God was mine. And alone, God and I began to rebuild a relationship that I thought maybe I had lost. My life continued to evolve. I was a very happy and joyful person, and teaching this to my daughter became so important to me. Years evolved, and my husband and I moved to a very sweet community in East Texas, Elysian Fields, where God said to me, "Your spiritual journey started alone in a garden, but it will bloom fully with the love of my people. Come to Crossroads Baptist Church." And so we did 9 years ago. So although the song, "I Come to the Garden Alone," was very special to me, until probably the last 5 or 6 years, I never realized how that would play such an important part in my spiritual journey. And I love the stanza that says, "He walks with me and he talks with me, and he tells me that I am his own." But I now realize that alone with God, he and I have a relationship, but alone with his people, I will flourish being his child. So when you hear the song, "I Come to the Garden Alone," now you'll probably always think of me, and I hope that you do, and I wanted you to understand why that song is such a precious part of my spiritual journey.